Hello, everybody, and welcome to another one of my various streams. Today's stream is primarily focusing on checking through custom assets and reviewing the log and how to go and fix all the different little errors that might pop up. I've already started going through all the Royal Navy mod assets the other day. I do this from time to time in order to chase down any errors. Unfortunately, I've gone through Hermes. Hermes had some fantastic little general examples of just just tiny things which can pile up in the error log. Um, and there's a few other little bits and pieces which contributes to your log bloating out a fair bit. So we'll be going through some of that stuff today. So with today's setup, I've just got my local installed the Royal Navy mod using the in-house developer branch of it. So not the live one, that's on the workshop, of course. And simply today, I will be going through the encyclopedia, loading each asset, reviewing the log, and just checking for what's in the errors. So far, I'm going through the list at the moment. Going through aircraft carriers, there's nothing in battleships, unless we decide to do Vanguard. I'm not going to rule it out. We could do Vanguard at some point. Don't get your hopes up. We don't have any corvettes. Although I do believe the Royal Navy had some corvettes of various types. A lot of them went all over the place. They sold a lot of them off, if I recall correctly. Destroyers have already gone through, which was just basically the Type 42 essentially. The counties I won't be touching today. They're on the replacement block. Vitruvius is currently working on building the entire county series right now, and it is looking fantastic. And that is such an interesting ship to look at and to review compared to some of the other boats I've glanced at. Especially compared to the Type 82. I find the Type 82 to be rather boring to look at. But yeah, so earlier today, managed to go and review the first two Leanders. Batch 1 is next. This is actually one of my older models now. But Leander, yeah, come to think of it, it is one of my older models. General things I'm expecting to find, because a lot of these have a lot of copy and paste stuff, is the rudders won't be set up. There's going to be a lot of unlinked colliders, which I've already done a live stream on how to go and do all that stuff. If you want to put in your own custom colliders when you build your assets. So if you don't know, go ahead and check it out. Today I'm just clearing it because I'm just trying to declutter the log. Because the more bloat that appears in the log, longer load times you have to deal with. And I'm sure that people don't want to deal with that. So let's go and get the log up. If you want to go find the log, it's just located in your CPower folder, just after the data folder, and you'll find logs. And you just double click sessions, and here we go. So this one here at the top, this is a language file error. Everybody will see this one here because it's a hidden asset within the original CPower game directory. So everybody will see that on their logs. This one is a custom asset that's missing its language file. So it should, if I go to aircrafts, if it doesn't have a language file, it will come under missing, and there it is. So yeah, whenever you do your testing, you start implementing stuff, you'll find it all just sitting in there till you set up your language file, which is not that hard. Just don't copy the original one, because then you're going to be overriding and causing conflicts, and we don't want that. Anyways, moving on. This will just load up stuff. Then we got here. This is Sealifter going into action. Sealifter is bridging the OBJ file load in. We can see it's loading stuff from the actual workshop folder for some reason. Don't know why. And this is everything that's in the OBJ file. So all the submodel meshes that are sitting in there come in here, except for the gunner. I'm pretty sure the gunner is an external add. Yeah. Oh, okay. Now this one. So currently, we're going to be changing this. Currently, the Claude CCAT launcher that I made, it's set up as a separate OBJ file. Now, there's a bit of an issue with the way that Sealifter loads outside custom objects. And when it does, it will load that entire OBJ file for for as many submodel times as it's there. So with the CCAT launcher, there's 2 submodels there. So you got your base and then the launcher part. So rotation, pivot. That means it loads it twice. So not too bad. The Type 22 with the Seawolf, that uses a lot more. I believe it's somewhere around 32, and that means that OBJ file has been loaded because the 2 launchers on the Type 22. It's 64 times. Not ideal. Definitely not ideal. Definitely not helping with load times. That being said, the Type 22 has I think 2 2K textures, and it's an older ship. I've managed to get myself down to just using a single 2K texture, and I'm slowly getting myself down to bring things down to a 1K texture, bringing it in line with how the devs work. So yeah, as we can see, we've got the first CCAT launcher. First part loads in all those bits, and the second part loads in the next one, and apparently there's a few more parts I didn't realize, so it's loaded in quite a few times. So the only way we're going to be fixing that is by moving the entire contents of the we've got the iCar as well. We just got to move the mesh data from here into the Leander OBJ file, and then you won't see this. It will just load up in this list once, and that's what we want, and that's what we're going to be rolling out in the next week or so. So alright, so here's our errors currently in there. We have a break with the rudders. I've already fixed the others. That one's a pretty easy fix. We just need to load up the INI file, make it nice and big. Let's go and bring up the rudder systems. I already know that we have 2 rudders in the submodel group, and we're just going to do this twice. Boom. Oops. Get rid of that one. Boom, boom. That's an _1. And this one is an _2. Easy peasy. The other ones in the log file, colliders. And we're not going to worry about this one. This is just to do with actually initializing proper colliders in there. At the moment they're not active. Well, one of them's not active. So I'll need to look at fixing that at some point in the future. My list, of course, it's always growing. So we're just going to Control F and find all these broken collider links. I'm just going to delete them for now. I'm not worried about keeping them. It does change gameplay in terms of damage. However, if your ship is taking damage in sea power, it is generally sinking. Doesn't really matter. It's nice, but your way damage is set up at the moment, I don't see it changing a lot to gameplay. And one more. Of course, all of these are pretty easy to fix. You can always add in your own colliders. I have, I think, another 15 files to go through to go and check for errors. So I'll be going through and sorting that stuff out a bit later. Alright, so that's all done. Now what we can do is go in here, press F10, test mode, respawn the ship, and then I'm going to go and refresh the log. The log is continuously writing while we have the session open, and we can see those error messages are all gone. Here's the respawn load, and yeah, they have been cleared. Nice and easy. So we can move on to the next one. Actually, before I do that, I need to upload this. Otherwise, I will forget, and I will come back and have to fix these again later. Alright, next one. We're just doing the same thing. I have a spare hour. So here we go. Here's a new log. We're just going to the very bottom. And what do we got? Batch 2 could not find mesh second for submodel seconds. That mesh is that little thing that we saw in batch 1 that had the Akara launcher on it. Which is weird because all these are loading from the same mesh, that same OBJ file. And we're missing pivot. What else do we have? On home number is duplicated. Okay. Alright, let's just load up the RNI. Batch 2. Let's just quickly get to it. I'm going to keep that one. Delete that one. This was in the log. Submodel pivot. Pivot is for it's part of the Mark 5 gun. Oh, sorry, Mark 6 gun. So hash that. Hash this as well. Don't need them. That will clear out those ones, and there's no rudder or colliders, so this one looks like it's kept some of the changes I made in the past. Alrighty, let's move this one, update you to the drive. We're on to batch 3. This is actually a relatively new config, this one. I do like the Seawolves. They are like a decent, for the Royal Navy, they are definitely a decent wind defense weapon compared to the Sea-Cat. I still love the Sea-Cat. It is completely like inadequate for doing anything. It's just such a quirky little system. And if you ever hit anything with a Sea-Cat, you know, you just cheer because it's like, it's a miracle, basically. Okay, so here's something that I was telling you about before. This is the Seawolf. That is one launcher that I've loaded, that has the Seawolf system on it. It's nuts. And you gotta fix it. Oh. Apparently the batch 2 did have some stuff. Just didn't enter in the log. Alright, that's easy enough. So we've got batch 2 up. And to make my life a little bit easier, I'll just move this over. So I can just copy and paste those little sections. Like flight deck. Make it that bigger. Nav radar thing. This one. Just goes to show the log doesn't always keep up, but hey. It's nice that it tries. Tidal launcher. Huh. Something from the Seawolf system. Okay, that's done. Let's go and just upload that to Drive. And what's next? Batch 3. There we go. Oh, when you see this, so in the map file, it's just saying, hey, the color and all that's been set. When we get to teaching a bit more about like how to set up asset bundles, that will change. Like that part is pretty important. This is saying it's all fixed. I don't believe it. Let's just refresh you. That took a while, and that is the log just repopulating with a ton of crap from the Seawolf. So alrighty. Here's a new one. This is coming from the animation file. So when in the animation file, you can set the number of animations that it looks to read. And this is for, looks like the Seawolf. So what happens there is if you set that number too high, it generates errors. It's like, hey, I can't find animation X, Y, or Z. Seawolf. See what I mean? We are only using 24. This is, yeah, lots of hatches. 12 hatches per thing. So we just need to change that to 24. And that will clear that log. Will clear this big red wall of errors. And again, that improves loading time and all that shit. It all adds up. Animation folder. Alright, that one's fixed. Are there any more things hiding in here? These will get fixed up. I might actually see if AGM could put in a patch that might fix this. It's loading a lot of stuff from Invincible too. There must be Invincible things on this. I didn't set this one up, so yeah. So let's just check. So if I go to rudder system. So that's saying that. What do we got back here? Single rudder. Okay. Alright, I'm convinced. Before I forget, on the log file, I'm just going to shoot AGM a little message. Okay, sorry about that. Trying to do some quick typing. Alright, what's next? I won't stress about Type 21 because that will get replaced at some point. Type 22 I did earlier because it just randomly loaded. Landing ships, don't have any. Send commando center. I believe I should have most of that done. Let's try to go over here. And we're going to go all the way down to the bottom. Okay. So, I've already corrected these on the other ones, so I know pretty much what to fix. Oh. There's a path. We've got a pathing error on one of the map files. I fixed that, so that's fine. And there's just one more thing in the batch 3. I need to just quickly fix. Let's bring this up. Vessels. Here. Not playing Sins today. Leander batch 3. They've been updated. Okay. Next one. Commando. So, got the Commando ready. And in here, so go on the ships. Let's go to Commando and this one. What's wrong with you? Saying the spec is not there. Drag that off monitor for a second. Let's check. It looks right. Oh. Typo. There's a typo right in here. Right there. That's all. Typos are the biggest enemy. Oh, Lord. Commando folder. There we go. Just need to pop this into here. Okay, now everything else that I gotta do is in here. So, to simply explain all this, there is no animation link. Like, it's being told, hey, in the animation file that's been assigned, look for this, look for this. And it's not in there, so I'm just putting a hash. We don't need to worry about that one. It's not being used, it's just a leftover piece of line. And you're sorted, you're sorted. There's only 4 elevators on here, yeah. Okay. Alright, those are done. Unable to find elevator 4. Oh, okay. That's strange. But it's sworn I just saw elevator 4. We've got 2, 3, 1. My sanity, I'm putting a space there. Okay, no, so that's just this number here that's causing our error. I'm just going to reduce that down to 3. Next one, it's saying we've got too many launch points. So we've only got a apparently we've only got 8 launch points. So we just gotta fix this. Change that down to 8. And next, recovery points. We only have 2. Boom. And this is from memory. It's a helicopter carrier, isn't it? Yeah. You can, with helicopters, you can have them all just recover at once. But what happens is you end up with a pile-up, because they just go straight for the lift. They don't wait, they don't line up, they just all go for the lift. Because they don't see it as being occupied, like say the launch points. Or the recovery points. Elevators don't appear as occupied. Not unless you want to set up single vehicle elevators. At which point then it does define them as occupied. But yeah. So back to the log. Where was I? Recovery point checked. Taxi points, it's saying it can't find 2? Oh man. Ah, don't tell me. Huh? 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a fun war. Okay, that's... I physically can see it. And it's listed. It doesn't look like a typo. Taxi path 7, 7, 8, and 16. Oh, Lord. Okay, I'm not fixing... These ones here I'm not going to do right now. They're not quick, they're not easy. I have, to fix this, it's going to require rewriting pretty much the entire flight deck stuff. And that's painful. We're currently missing the type 903, I think. I'm pretty sure the guys will fix that in the future. For the time being, to make it all work, we're just going to use the current CCAT director that's in there. Boom. Yep. Oh, and because the game can't find it in the system INI file, it's got no idea. So it just generates this. This is what happens when you don't have your sensors actually there. It tries to make something up. That's just a mesh one. And then we got a few broken colliders. I think you've seen me do this enough times that you don't need me to have it directly on stream. And last one. Alright, we're going to save that. Get the vessel directory. Commando, you're going in there. Excuse me for a second while I cough. Thank you for the execution. Now I just gotta go and write up my logs. Um, so the Leanders are done. Um, Windows Shift and S to do copy and paste. And that's not what I need to copy and paste, actually. Do this again. There we go. I'm just going to put that with my changelog. So when the other guys in the team are reviewing it all, they can see, oh, okay. It's these bits. Alrighty. And we don't have a light cruiser. Missile boats, I don't think we have any British missile boats at the moment. I don't recall anything. Be nice, but I don't think they really had anything. Some cruisers. Nope. 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 I think that's it. That is it for surface ships. Submarines, well, there's Churchill. Which is one of the models I built. The cutouts, that they did not go very well. I don't think it turned out too bad, but yeah. Can't say I've ever really built a submarine before. Despite the fact that I've built 4 in total, I think. Alright, let's refresh our log. And at this point, so that's just loading from our Valiant OBJ, because Churchill and Valiant are practically the same. We do have an error coming from the particles, but and if you want to find particles, they are down at the bottom. So they're all in this area, and there's more particle effects around as well. Yeah, I don't know what. It's not saying which particles. It's just saying that something is broken. And that's not a big deal. I'm not too worried anyways. Alright, so Swishaw. Another ugly looking sub. Where's your hatch? Ah, okay. I remember looking at the plans for these, and you can see, like when you look at plans, some of them you will see like they have this big radar sonar dome in there. Um, then we'll get the Valiant. It's just in this little top portion. That's it. All right. Well, you know the routine by now. We're gonna hit the log file, refresh the log file, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and it's same things as before. And I haven't set up proper colliders for this one yet, so yeah, the game just generates a default collider. Still works, they still get sunk. The Valiant, I actually didn't mind how the Valiant turned out. And it should be pretty much the same case again. Yep. The only thing I don't like about the British subs are Tigerfish. When I was testing, when I was getting all the tubes and stuff set up on this one, I was test firing torpedoes constantly, and let's do this.
We'll go.
We'll fire. We'll give them a head start. Get the Tigerfish head
Whip it
start.
away!
Got a Tigerfish off.
Roger that.
And now let's go fire a Mark 8.
Whip it away!
And watch it overtake. Yeah, the resolution on the Tigerfish texture is a bit on the high side. Looks okay, but yeah. Yeah, we check the Valiants. Yeah. She got loaded. That's all the same stuff. Alright, so that's all the attacks. Ballistics, we don't have any. Tempted, but trying to find plans for that will be extremely difficult. If you do find plans for the British ballistic sub, let me know. I would be more than interested to have a look and make it. To the Oberon. I do have better plans, and this is on my list of subs to rebuild. I have a lot of photos of HMAS Onslow that's sitting in Sydney Harbour, which, yeah. It was a pretty cool submarine to walk through. You get there and you come in from through the torpedo loading and they'll take you through the entire boat. And the guy who took us on the tour of Onslow, he served on one of the Oberons, and they had a little bit of an incident where the dive planes got locked in a down position, and the sub was it was practically nose down, and they did this weird reverse. It would sort of flip itself up this way, then go forward a little bit, and start going back down again, and they did this sort of think of it like as a piece of paper just floating down to the ground, but the other way around, going up. It was an interesting story. These saw so many modifications through their years too. Event logs for when weapons fire. in case anybody asks. And yeah, that's fine. There's nothing in there. And that is submarines done. Aircraft. I have not reviewed the aircraft. Now this one is a fictional planet, from my understanding. Refresh the log. So we've got texture file broken, sorry, broken map file. This is saying that there is an incorrect half file in there as well. Halfway the map file. We've got animations that are unlinked. There's multiple animations. External OBJ file, and we have a few broken textures as well. Alright, this will be the last one, because I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to see me doing this for like another hour or so, and I do want to go to bed. So let's go find it, and let's just have a quick look. So this is how map file generally looks like. You'll be just using the default shader and everything. It's just got your paths. Simple, plain, beautiful. We got the cockpit. And this is causing one of the errors. It's this line here. Delete it. Boom. You don't need it. Creates an error, more errors, and load the have in your logs, the longer things take to load. We don't. So that's done. Let's make sure I'm uploading files as I go. So I don't have to worry about anything back. What was that copy? Boom. Alright, next one. Now, one that's got a problem. No, it's actually this one. So cockpit, matte texture. It's broken. Typo that I can see, and yeah, everything's fine. I'll do a refresh and see what happens. Could not load textures. Alright, so there's something going on in the aircraft file in the squadron. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I didn't read the mic inside of that one. Okay. So, what do we got? It's saying in the squadrons, nothing is broken. It's trying to load some of the files. So, alright. Here's all your stuff. You can load your liveries, load bump maps, spec maps from here. You just gotta write it, just put it in there. If you want a good example, check out the civilian airliners. They have custom spec maps loaded onto them, which you kind of need because some of them have a mix of like paintwork, like polished steel, and others are fully painted. It's all the values in front. So, need to go in here. Okay, trivia spots. The squadron files. Got 3 squadrons. There's 4 on the list. Oh, I know why. Because the 4th one is being used in Darth Max alt history rank. Okay, I know what now. So I'm going to be looking here. Aircraft, Sea Cannon, AEW squadrons. Hermes Airway? Oh, it's just a red dot. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. This could be caused by a few different things. Might just need to reload the game. Might even be just another day problem at this point. It is 11:40 PM here, where I am. So yeah, I'm quite tempted to just leave it at that. We are hitting the 1 hour mark. So, on that note, I will wish you all good night, and I will see you another time when we get there. Good night.